Hello everybody. I never ever thought of making a video like this or otherwise talking even in front of a camera just to post it to the Facebook, even in my childhood. But looking at what's happening right now and the opportunities available in Sri Lanka, I think we as professionals, I myself being an engineer living in Canada uh, for a number of years now, I think we have an opportunity right now to bring forward our ideas rather than blaming each other. And what we see instead right now in the TVs, all these politicians come forward and they are bashing each other. So they are just talking only private matters rather than concentrating on developing the country. I think most of the what I see from my perspective, I may not be right, but what I see is like there's a huge bankruptcy of new ideas, and nobody's bringing up new ideas, and they all are like in a macro level explaining the stuff like we need to increase the GDP, or otherwise we need to increase the productivity and we need to improve the economy. Yes, we all can say like that, but what are the practical measures that we need to do? So that rests, I think, on professionals. So one thing that I see, one unfortunate thing that I see is I don't see professionals coming forward like professionals, engineers, doctors, architects, landscape architects, and the university professors, and scientists, and accountants, and all these kind of like, and the artists. I don't, even though artists are a little bit involved with the politics, but I don't see they are bringing up the ideas. So where are these professionals? I myself being an engineer, I thought like we need to bring this discussion in in good faith. And you could be having any different political view, different political ideas, and belonging to different political parties, but we should not be having any barriers to work for the common task, which is to bring bring Sri Lanka a little bit forward rather than going backward. What I see is like so I think media is also a little bit responsible for this, and they just bringing up, they're just bringing only the politicians, and people would like to, due to some reason, due to some unfortunate reason, people would like to see they bashing each other rather than bringing rather than bringing forward the ideas. This is unfortunate. So I thought we need to change this thing, and we need at least to get some of the professionals, so that we can bring more ideas. For example, think about this. In Sri Lanka, just alone Colombo, we get brownouts or power cuts at least 3 times a day. How pathetic is that? Don't we need to address that? And will there be any investors coming to Sri Lanka knowing that kind of thing? And for example, another good example is a couple of years ago, if you remember, if you are living outside Sri Lanka, you know, like when sometimes you call your telephone company, or when you call your when you call your doctor, in those countries, sometimes the call is answered by a third party person in another country in a call center. We had in Sri Lanka, there were tons of call centers a couple of years ago, but if you go now and look at them, you don't see them. I looked at the reasons, and they generated a lot of jobs. I looked at the reasons, even though temporary, sometimes they were temporary jobs, but that they were important. And the reason is brownouts, power cuts. So these buildings need 24/7 power all the time. And unfortunately, when there's a brownout, then they have to maintain a generator for that. On top of that, even though the salaries are less, then there are a lot of overheads like generators and providing transportation due to congestion issues. So will investors come in that kind of situation? No, they will definitely go to some other country. And another thing is like Okay, now we definitely know that Sri Lanka is having a severe, um, I would say, housing problem. And there are a number of ways that you can resolve the housing problem. But this is a problem actually. First of all, we should understand that more than 200,000 families every year join in the system and they don't have a house. How to address that? And how the other countries have addressed them? And there are a number of things that we can do, like, you know, in other countries there's a mortgage system, and especially like North American countries, they have mortgage system, and the mortgage system, under the mortgage system you have to make a down payment, but you get a good house, and then you pay that off until like somewhere around like 55 years you pay that off. But in European countries, they sometimes they even pass that mortgage to their kids. Why? Because some European countries, they would like to give that house to the kid. So fine, so at least do something. Like there's a mortgage system, there are a whole bunch of other ways to address that. And then because of this, because the land is so limited, we have to make sure that we get the maximum benefit of each and every square foot in that country. So there are ways to address that. High-rise buildings, go for high-rise buildings, and what are the other best solutions? So somehow, what I'm saying in short is actually we need to bring these things. We need to go down to the systems rather than saying, yeah, we increase the GDP, we solve the housing problem. Rather than saying that, we need to address and we need to bring down to the system level and address them. Another thing like flood control, and so these all issues, I'm bringing up only the issues related to engineering, and we already have listed like more than 145 important issues, and I have listed on our website more than 10 issues. So our website is actually theindependence.org. theindependence.org. The purpose of that website and the purpose of the organization that we're going to build up is to bring all suggestions of professionals living in Sri Lanka, living outside, doesn't matter, whoever likes the country should bring ideas to the table. And we should discuss these ideas, and we should force media, we should at least try to force media to bring these ideas forward so that we will have a forum to discuss. This is an important thing. And you know, like in every country, politicians are so afraid of bringing ideas. Not only in Sri Lanka, it's even in other countries. They are so afraid. Why? Because they think the idea may be dumped by people and there will be a huge resistance from the society, and because of that they will be thrown out of the political system. So they are afraid of that. So how the other countries have avoided this kind of thing? They have so many civil societies, including policy alternative societies, where professionals are contributing. Have you ever seen people who are living in other countries? Have you ever seen politicians in the TV stations like in Sri Lanka? No. What you see instead are professionals or people who are knowledgeable of a topic are coming forward and discussing the things. So a proper vetting process is happening. And then what happens is, when the vetting process is over, then these politicians, they know, okay, what the society needs. They know, they get that idea. And the professionals, sorry, the politicians are very shrewd at getting that idea, make it like their idea or whatever it is, and run with it and score the mark. You know, that is politics. Doesn't matter. So who cares? If the society is intelligent, if the society is smart, if the society really wants to move forward, there are ways to do it. Just forget about the political parties. Bring the ideas. And even with these existing, the current politicians, we can bring the country forward. And otherwise, if we are trying to wait until your preferred political party comes to power, guess what? After next 5 years, that party will be dumped and somebody else will come and you will be lost. So what we need to do is we need to bring professional organizations like policy alternative organizations related to the development, especially engineering, architects, landscape architects, very important, landscape architects, and then the doctors, university professors, all these professionals come forward and discuss and bring ideas. I'll tell you another story. When For example, when I was in the university, Dr. Kulasinghe came to the university for an exhibition. He was the chief guest of that exhibition, I think the first day or the second day. And when he started the speech, he asked everybody, have you seen the trenches being built in Sri Lanka? And gutters and trenches too, mainly trenches. After independence, yeah, we have seen trenches. That's what I came to my mind. And have you seen? Then I thought like he's trying to. He said like after independence we are building trenches, and have you seen any of the trenches? Then I thought he's trying to actually mock the white people. No, that's not right. That's not what he did. He said, yeah, we have been building trenches, but have you seen any trench working properly? Oh, now you get the picture. What he meant. He said, no, the reason is because our engineering officers, regional officers, they are following very old standards, and there is no way to obtain the current standards or the new standards and what's happening in other worlds. There is no way to get that. That mechanism is not working. So because of that, the things that we do, sometimes even engineering wise, is an utter waste. They're not working. Like I should mention that Gotabaya Rajapaksa, right? Somehow like he made this Colombo city a little bit beautiful. That's because he lived in I truly believe because he lived in another country, a developed country, he knew how the things have been built. Then he tried, some people say he used the army and the forces to do this, which I believe should not be the way. So he had seen these things, but he didn't know actually how to implement, how to give this to the society and the professionals, so that a person in Colombo, an engineer in Colombo, does the same thing as an engineer in Anuradhapura, or like vice versa. So the entire country can benefit out of it and then can develop the same way. And these are done by the standards, and bring the standards and bring the whole society up to date with it. It's not easy, but that's the way the other countries have done, and that's the only way to do it. And if you're thinking, okay, you want to do it by force, you can do it. And so shouldn't we discuss these things? Are these not important at all? And I think we should. And another very important aspect I'll tell you, like the engineers and all these professionals contribute more than 60 to 70% in any other country for its development. Unfortunately, I don't see it's happening. The Sri Lankan, the engineering organization in Sri Lanka, I'm not hearing very well what they're doing, but they have a huge responsibility to come forward and stay above politicians, and bring the ideas and bring all these professionals together. And if they're not doing it, then please, at least we should get together. And we already have listed a whole bunch of ideas, and our website is, as I said again, theindependence.org. theindependence.org. We have more than 145 ideas listed, and I have all ideas in our hand, and I already have listed more than 15 ideas on numerous topics. and you can go to the website and you can see. And so please contribute, and we will bring you forward, and we will provide you a platform, and we will do our best to somehow get your idea to the table and present it to the society, and we and work together. I think it is our duty, and we should do it. Thank you very much.